Hi guys. Happy Winning Wednesday. You've just tuned into Let's Digest. But before we get started, guys, make sure you already know the drill, right? Make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you like this video. Comment down in the comment section below. Let us know about the women who you appreciate in your lives or in your history. Also, make sure that your bell is highlighted so that anytime you get new content, you guys will get notified. Guys, if you can see, like, my excitement is a little bit bubbling out and possibly for a whole bunch of reasons, right? So tonight we have a guest. It is a Women's History Month, and I felt it was very appropriate for me to honor the main woman in my life, of course, the woman who gave birth to me, right? And so I have my mom with us tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about her, women from her history, the women who've inspired her or who've empowered her throughout the course of her time. And also, maybe a little bit about mother-daughter bond appreciation towards each other. But anyway, the cut goes. We want you guys to enjoy this. So if you're going to be tuning in, if you don't have the pleasure of having your mom, grab another mom or tag and share this live with another mom or another woman. It doesn't have to be a woman, because it is Women's History Month. And we want to honor all women, not just in the month of March, all the time. So I felt like, being that I have this platform now and I'm doing these different things in life, and it happens to be Women's Month, Women's History Month, why not bring on my mom, right? The history where I came from. So guys, I want you guys to welcome, this is Miss Josephine Wells. My mom, the mom of, well, I would say she's the mom of three, but she has a whole bunch of bonus kids. I think that's where I get my heart and my loving from. But guys, this is my mom. She is a mom. She is a grandmother. She is retired now, so she has the pleasure of doing whatever it is she feels like it. Wonder if she does that often. If you guys know another thing about being here with Let's Digest and being on with me, we are completely transparent. I did not prep my mom for this. This is probably her first time being completely live on a social media platform. And I know if she's not good for anything else, she'll be transparent. Sometimes a little too blunt and transparent, but all in love, all in fairness. So, guys, this is Miss Josephine. Mom, I don't know, call her mom or Miss Josephine. I don't know, guys. Help me out in the comment section. For now, what would you like for me to call you tonight? I just introduced you as Miss
Mom.
Okay, sorry. I guess I won't be saying Josephine. So Mom, welcome.
Thank you.
To Let's Digest, to my domain, shall I say. I've been in your domain for a long time. Yes, although we kind of still are right now, just filming, right? But just introduce yourself, welcome yourself to the viewers, to our subscribers here on YouTube.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Josephine Wells. A lot of people call me JoJo, Josephine, Mom, Auntie, and whatever. I'm just a loving heart person. Me and Deidre, my baby, she asked me would I do this for her tonight. So I thought about it. I said, no. Then I said, okay, I'll do it. If I can't do it as your mom, who can? But it's a pleasure to be with you all tonight and share a few things about my life history, the people that inspired me the most, and who I looked up to for a long, long time. And that's
it. Yes. So, guys, she did. She gave you the introduction. I gave you a little introduction. So since you mentioned, the women in your life and all those that you've been inspired by, we know that you are. Well, we can tell the viewers. I think I mentioned it on one of my last lives that you just celebrated 66 years of life.
Yes.
just a couple weeks ago, well, last month.
Yeah.
So definitely blessed to have you here for 66 years. But we
Thank
also
you.
know that you are a different era, of course, because you're
Definitely.
my mom from
Definitely.
me, right? So she was born in a different era. Can you just tell us? I mean, as you can see now, like if you thought about 2023, the women now, the girls now, the ladies now, what was the major difference in women empowerment back in your time or coming up in high school, whether it was high school, college, just those times, whether it was your young adult years? How was it with women empowerment or women being together and inspiring each other?
Well, first of all, the women that I inspired the most were my mom, Miss Perlina Wheeler, who have gone on, my grandmother, Miss Perlina Parrott, and my father mother, Miss Maggie Bowman. They inspired me the most because when I was a child coming up, most of my time was spent in the home with my grandmother and my mother. But whenever I got a vacation from school or summer break, I would be there. Then I aspire being able to leave home for the summer and come back a week or two before school, because then I spent that summer in Jacksonville, Florida, with my uncle and his wife and his children. So that was my grand prize. When I got out of school, I know I was going to Jacksonville for the summer. But anyway, to go back to my grandmother, who had a big hand in raising me, I learned that back in the days when our parents or grandparents taught to us, that we had to listen. It wasn't no, I'll think about it, okay, or look at them and don't move. When they said, do this, you need to get up right then and there. Because the second time they say it, trust me, it won't be nothing like the generation today. Because we used to get slapped in our mouth. We used to get whipped with a dog fatter off the dish bank. Man, what you talking about? A belt? Belt wasn't nothing to that dog fatter that we used to get. That's the name of the switch. But anyway, being brought up by them learned me a lot. And I appreciate the elderly people back then. And since I've had children and children of my own, it I tried to be lenient with them, but I know I still have some of the older days ways about me. And I always tell them, my grandmother raised me, my mom raised me, my mom raised me, but sometimes they don't understand that. And back then, when any adult asks you to do something or tell you, you better move. Because if you don't move, you get a beating from them, you get a beating from your other grandmama, you get a beating from the auntie and uncle. But nowadays, ooh boy, I'm glad those days are over with for me. I don't raise my children. I have other children that look up to me and I love them. And, it's sad when you see a child disrespecting the parents or talking back to an elderly person, or even when they say bad words that they shouldn't say. But I thank God that my upbringing led me to that it was instilled in me until I can tell my kids how I react to my grandmother, my mother, because back then I didn't have to look for them. They didn't have to call me. I was always there. But these days, you hardly ever see them. But that's all right. They'll come by one day. And
I don't know whether to say touche or okay, girl. Listen, I don't know about what was it? No, listen, this is what we're here for. I don't know if it was the dog planner or whatever it is. Listen, I don't know what kind of switch that was, but I can see some of the upbringings because listen, I got a switch. If I was in the middle of a store and I decided to act up, we was not waiting until we got back to the car. She was doing it right then and there. So it sounds like, okay, of course, the women back in the day, you know, strong women, they raised or they had a particular upbringing. It's probably way less leniency, but it's funny and maybe okay, maybe there was some leniency with your parents, and because although we would get on punishments, I would get my head knocked off. She was a little soft on your girl, maybe a day or two after punishment. She'd had to get me to do something for her. So I punishment was over, so it was fine. But I like that you said that, you know, that even though you had a stern upbringing from the women in your life who inspired you and still instilled in you something that you could carry on to your children and grandchildren, you still decided because it was a different time, and that you understood more as a woman, and that now you could be a little bit more lenient with your children. Can we remember that for later? Lenient with your grown children. Sure. We get her. I think I forgot to take her. But yeah, but I love that though. I love that. So how was it with the women in the community back in your time? Like, did women come together a lot? As a young girl, did you see a lot of women helping each other out? Whether I'm sure I've heard about it, helping each other out with their kids. But how was it with women in the community? Did you see a lot of women come together? Did they have like women groups back in the day, or did you guys just meet up at what did y'all call it? Was it the hole in the wall or the shindig or whatever? Did y'all meet just to do the Watsusi?
Was no holding. Well, back then in the neighborhood, we all neighbors got along. Mm-hmm. It wasn't no such thing as my children, your children. Because if you was a part of that neighborhood and your children grew up there, they was your children as well as they was my children. If they see you doing something, see your child doing something wrong, they could have punished your child. And we got punishment from our neighbor too. And then we got told on. And it was okay because what could we say? We did it. We got punished for it. If our parents didn't get us, someone else will beat us. Then when they come home and get the news, we got another whipping. So back then, you know, it wasn't too much badness for us because the older parents would always had our weekend cut out for us. During the week, we go to school, we get off the bus at the road. At the end of the road, we had a neighbor who lived there, so we would go to his house, leave our books, change clothes, hit the cotton field. On Friday evening, we start pumping up water, the wash, rinse, bleach, rinse again. On Saturday morning, the one who didn't do the laundry, they had to get out and sweep the yard, sweep up under the house. When I say sweep and rake the yard, it just wasn't wrapped around there. You had to sweep all the way out to the next little ditch, little section to go over to the next person's house. I mean, we didn't have time to be badness and show out. Saturday, we all go to church. There was no excuse why you ain't had no stocking. They would make you grease your leg. You put on them shoes and you going to church. After church, we all get together. All my mother's siblings, my grandmother, aunts, cousins, and we had dinner together. After we had dinner, we was allowed to go out and play among each other. We had a place where we could have go in the woods and pick blackberries, bullets, cherries. And that was fine because the elderly people, after they don't eat, they sat on the porch and had a good time talking and laughing. But one thing we wasn't allowed to do is to sit in their company. We could not sit and look in their mouth and see what they talk about. because they wasn't going for that. So we had to go out and play. So the time we spent in playing and loving with each other, those were the best days of my life.
I like that.
There was no argument, no fussing and fight, because they wouldn't put up with that either. So I appreciate that.
So so to summarize this, basically what she just said was, sound like the women back in the day were smart. The kids had plenty of chores to do from Friday to Sunday. They had chores to do, and then after chores, they had a whole schedule, which means go to church, come back home, get your dinner, because and then
go out and
play. The most they want to do is go pick fruits and berries and stuff. Right. I missed that. I was literally looking for a plum tree the other day. Not a plum tree. Yeah, was it a plum tree? Yeah, I was looking for the plum tree and I couldn't find it. I'm like, oh God. But anywho, guys, so it sounds like the women back then, they understood empowerment, because let's just say, from where it begins is the nest. That's the purpose of women's history, where it all began. It began at home. And it sounds like our women, our queens back in the day, who we pay so much homage to. We love you all, the ones here and the ones no longer here. We appreciate you for that. And it sounds like you started off as a strong knit, because you realize that if we're in the same community, we got, it takes a village. We talk about these things now. I talk about these things now, guys. I pray that my battery does not go dead. I talk about these things now. And, hopefully we'll have mom back for parenting conversation, right? No right or no wrong, just digesting some things. And it sounds like they knew the importance of coming together, which gave them plenty of time to sit on the porch, relax, and wind down while the kids out doing what they're doing, because look, the chores done been done all week. Mm-hmm. So women today, you've heard a little bit about where it all started from, the history of women from my history side, my mom. And so we got to be appreciative of that. We got to remember where we came from, the history before us, that has shaped us into the women that we are today, and that we strive to be in the future. As it goes for me, of course, guys, this is my mom, and my appreciation for her goes far back. I can sit and say that some of the same parenting things that I've done in raising my son, which I'm proud of how, me and his dad raised him, but I'm proud of the young man that he is. I know that he's a good person in this world. Although every child has their way, you just want to grab him. I think my mom still want to choke him sometimes. Another topic for another day. We won't even go there tonight. But my appreciation for her goes back because she listened. She brought some of those things, those tough things, that even though she felt like, okay, there was less leniency back in her times, she still was lenient with me a little bit, but she gave me those hardcore things, like in the middle of a store. If that's where I decided to act a plumb crazy at because I couldn't get something and my daddy wasn't with me because he always gave it to me, guess what? If she had already said no meant no. And the next no was going to be a knock upside the head or something. I don't know. But she gave me those things, so I appreciate those. I even appreciate the soft times, although I always thought my mom was mean. I remember nights of us just listening to music. I don't know if she remembered, but there was a stereo that we had, two sides, clear glass, and we listened to music one night or a couple nights, and I'm sure I wasn't this heavy at the time. I was her baby then. She allowed me to stand on her feet and just dance with me. Those were things that you thought that a girl is supposed to experience with her father first, but that's something that I remember experiencing with my mom. And that allowed me to realize how strong she was, that she would allow me to stand on top of her foundation, which is her feet, and she would allow me to dance and enjoy life. And so I appreciate her for that. I appreciate her for still wanting to knock my head off sometimes. We do know that moms know best, even if sometimes they don't always, but sometimes they know best. Like tonight, we had to come on an hour early, which was great because I didn't realize that my battery was about to die and all that's in the car. But your girl has had a long 16, 18 hours with clients, with work, with everything, which I'm not complaining. Thank God for the business, for the customers. But I think I need a little rest because I forgot about my schedule in the morning as well. But I think tonight was great, amazing. As far as showing appreciation, not just for my mom, for all the women in my life. There was a live I did on Facebook. So if you're not friends with me, go follow me on Facebook, Deidre Wells. And I showed appreciation for all the women in my life, all the women that I see on a daily basis, even if I don't know your name, but I've seen your face. There's something about you. There's something about the blessing inside of you that we were all given as women: strength, power, togetherness. Even if we don't still follow those things today, I have faith that we're going to get back to it as women, because we know that this appreciation is going to stretch beyond March, and we're going to continue to love on one another and give each other our flowers. And let each other know how much we appreciate each other. And so, guys, that has been our episode for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed me and my mom's vibe. I don't know. I think I'm going to have her on a couple more times. I thought I was with these faces, but sometimes she get these faces and be cutting up. And I listen, y'all. We're gonna make her stay awake to 10 o'clock one night so we can really be late night, relax, wind down, maybe give her a glass of wine and really laugh at something. Because she's so tickled, but she can't wait right now to go get back relaxed so she can go lay down, guys. But we appreciate her time. We appreciate her coming on. Mom, this is your first live ever.
Thank you.
I sound so.
Thank you.
But yeah, this is her first social media appearance. So we'll be seeing her later. Guys, we appreciate you for tuning in, for being your amazing selves. Again, if you have your mom with you tonight, hug her. Love her. Hug her, love her, show her that you appreciate her. Moms, do the same things, because if you have girls, you want them to know that you appreciate them and you appreciate the woman that they are growing up to be. Because remember, the first woman that they see is you. So until next time, guys, be blessed. My queens, stay up, keep those crowns in place because they were positioned the day you came into this world. Matter of fact, before. So continue to do that. Rule your world as the powerful woman that you are. I love you guys.
Love you. Good night.